Hello, friends. So I volunteered to help organize my building's holiday party next weekend, and so because I have some experience in finance, I was asked if I wanted to be in charge of the budget. Oh, sure, I'll be glad to. Why don't all the attendees tell me what they want to have at the party, and I'll see if there's room for it in the budget. So over the past few days, I've been getting requests from all my neighbors about things they want to have at the party, and they have some great ideas. But the problem is, I'm not sure all the suggestions will fit into the budget, because it's not that big, to be honest. Of course, when they put me in charge of the budget, I assumed they were talking about a budget in its original meaning, that is, a small bag. That's right, our modern word, budget, originally had nothing to do with money and how to allocate it. Instead, it was a clothing accessory. The word comes through Middle English from the Old French bougette, which was a small bulge. And for you French speakers out there, a bulge is not related to movement, but instead denotes a leather bag, or wallet, and has a separate etymology. Specifically, most scholars believe that it comes from the Latin noun bulga, or knapsack, satchel, which was often used by travelers to carry all sorts of everyday items, like the one described by the Roman satirist Lucilius in the 2nd century BC. And what shape was a bulga? Well, you could say it was bulge-shaped, given of course that the word bulge is another one of its descendants. And if you go a couple steps further, to Latin's ancestor, Proto-Indo-European, then you get the root belg, which meant to swell, like not only a bulge, but also a belly, which is also descended from it. Now, the descendant of the bulga, the bougette, was, as mentioned, a small satchel, but more accurately, it was more of a fanny pack. And in the Middle Ages, it was worn not only by travelers, but also by merchants carrying their goods or tinkerers carrying their tinkering materials from town to town. The word entered the English language in the 15th century, where it was associated with that specific meaning. Shakespeare, for example, in his play A Winter's Tale, described the earliest budget as a characteristic accessory of any tinkerer. Now, in the following centuries, all sorts of people, even those who didn't travel that much, started to use budgets for their everyday affairs, including government officials, who used budgets to carry important paperwork, including paperwork related to finance. One such official who carried a budget, perhaps in this case in a more metaphorical sense, was Sir Robert Walpole, who was not only Great Britain's first Prime Minister but simultaneously Chancellor of the Exchequer, responsible for all the king's finances. In a 1733 pamphlet, critics of his tax policies published a pamphlet called The Budget Open, in which they attacked the contents of his budget, which was, among other measures, an excise tax he had proposed to implement on wine and tobacco. So the association of budget with tax policies and spending plans became more concrete with the publication of that pamphlet, as well as similar ones throughout the 18th century. And so, of course, nowadays, in English and many other modern languages, like French and Danish, the word budget has long ago stopped denoting a knapsack or other bag that people put things in, but of course now refers to financial planning and resource allocation. So that may be the case, but the neighbors in my building know me well, and some might call it old-fashioned, but I call it being etymologically inclined. And so for those neighbors who asked me whether beluga caviar cupcakes, straight from the Caspian Sea, fit into the budget, well, yes, they're small, so wrap them up and put in a few batches because there's room for lots of those in my budget here. What about Goldschläger luxury cinnamon schnapps with real gold flakes? Sure, those bottles don't look too big, so there should be room for a few of those in the budget too. What about a Christmas tree? That's probably too big. There's no way it'll fit into the budget. Sorry. Same thing with Santa. My budget's big, but it's not that big, so I don't think there's any room for him in there. Sorry, kids. Well, okay, enough etymology for now. I have to go back to filling up my budget with all these Christmas party must-haves that residents have asked me to bring to the party. It'll be expensive, and frankly, we don't have enough money in the communal fund to pay for most of the things they requested. But hey, we'll deal with all that financial stuff later. For now, I was put in charge of the budget for the holiday party, and I take my job seriously, so I don't want to disappoint my fellow residents. Thanks for watching.